3 weeks ago, I killed my fifth pothos plant. Overwatered it, underwatered it, then overwatered it again, trying to fix my mistake. The soil turned into a swamp, then a desert, then a mess I had to throw away. That's when I stopped using soil completely for my indoor plants. Now I grow everything in plain water, and I haven't killed a single plant since. If you've ever watched a $20 plant slowly die because you can't figure out the watering schedule, or you're tired of dirt spilling on your furniture every time you move a pot, this changes everything. These 7 plants will grow in nothing but water, look better than they ever did in soil, and you'll actually be able to keep them alive. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button. I put out videos every week on growing plants the easier way, and if you're struggling with traditional methods, this channel will save you a lot of dead plants and wasted money. Number 1. Pothos. Pothos is the plant everyone tells beginners to start with, but here's what they don't tell you. It grows better in water than it does in soil. I'm not exaggerating. Take a cutting from any pothos plant, stick it in a jar of water, and within 10 days you'll see thick white roots spreading through the container. The plant will keep growing, trailing down shelves or climbing up walls, all without a single grain of dirt. Here's how you do it. Cut a stem about 6 inches long, right below one of those little bumps on the stem. Those bumps are nodes, and that's where the roots come from. Remove any leaves that would sit underwater, because they'll rot and cloud up your water. Drop the cutting in a glass, vase, or jar, filled with room temperature water. Put it somewhere with indirect light. A few feet from a window works perfectly. The roots show up fast. Within 2 weeks, you'll have a root system that looks like thin white threads filling the container. Don't change the water too often at first. Let those roots establish. After the first month, change the water every 2 weeks. Just dump out the old water, rinse the roots gently under the tap, and refill with fresh water. Now here's your money trick with pothos. One plant from the store costs about $15, but that one plant can give you 20 new plants through cuttings. Each cutting becomes a full plant in a month. I started with one pothos I bought 2 years ago. I now have pothos in every room of my house, and I've given away at least 30 cuttings to friends. I haven't spent another $1 on pothos since that first purchase. Watch for yellow leaves. That means the plant needs food. Pothos and water doesn't get nutrients from soil, so add liquid fertilizer once a month. Use half the amount the bottle says. Too much fertilizer burns the roots when there's no soil to buffer it. I use any basic houseplant fertilizer diluted to half strength, and my pothos grows like crazy. Number 2. Coleus. If you want color, coleus beats every other plant on this list. The leaves come in combinations that look artificial. Deep purple with bright pink edges, lime green with burgundy centers, red and yellow swirls, near black leaves with electric green veins. Every variety looks like someone painted it by hand. Coleus roots faster than almost any plant. Cut a stem 4 to 6 inches long, remove the lower leaves, and put it in water. Within 5 days, you'll see white roots emerging from the nodes. Within 2 weeks, you'll have a root system thick enough that the plant starts growing new leaves. Here's what makes coleus special in water. The colors actually get more intense than they are in soil. I don't know the scientific reason, but I've grown the same coleus varieties in both soil and water, and the water-grown plants have brighter, more saturated colors every time. The leaves are also larger in water. Coleus needs bright light to keep those colors vibrant. In low light, the reds fade to pink, the purples turn green, and the whole plant loses its intensity. Put it near a window where it gets several hours of bright indirect light. Some morning sun is fine, but harsh afternoon sun can bleach the leaves and make the colors look washed out. Change the water weekly. Coleus grows fast, putting out new leaves constantly, and it dirties the water quicker than slow-growing plants. The plant also drinks a lot, so check the water level between changes and top it off if it gets low. Here's the care trick that keeps coleus bushy instead of tall and leggy. Pinch the growing tips every 2 weeks. When you see new growth at the top of a stem, pinch it off with your fingers. This forces the plant to branch out sideways instead of just growing taller. You'll get a full, bushy plant instead of a sparse one, with just a few tall stems. Every piece you pinch off can go right back into water to start a new plant. The money angle with coleus is huge. These plants are expensive in stores. A 4-inch pot of coleus costs $12 to $18, depending on the variety. But cuttings root so easily that you can get them almost anywhere for free. If you see coleus growing in a public garden, at a friend's house, or even at a restaurant in a planter, ask if you can take a small cutting. Most people are happy to share. One 3-inch cutting becomes a full plant in a month, and that plant will give you 20 more cuttings over the next year. Number 3. Sweet potato vine. Sweet potato vine is one of the most underrated water plants. You know those sweet potatoes that start sprouting in your pantry? Instead of throwing them out, stick them in water and watch what happens. Within a week, you'll have vines growing in every direction with heart-shaped leaves that range from bright green to deep purple depending on the variety. Get a sweet potato from the grocery store. Regular orange sweet potatoes work fine, but the purple varieties produce darker, more dramatic foliage. Find a jar or glass that fits the potato snugly at the top so just the bottom third sits in water. Use toothpicks stuck into the sides if you need support to keep it positioned correctly. Fill the container with water until it touches the bottom of the potato. Place it in bright light near a window. Within 5 days, you'll see roots shooting out from the bottom. Within 2 weeks, vines will start growing from the top. These vines grow fast. I'm talking several inches per week once they get going. They'll trail down from shelves, climb up strings if you give them support, or spread across a table. Change the water every week. Sweet potato vines grow so vigorously that they use up nutrients quickly. The water will start looking cloudy after a week, which is your signal to dump it out and refill. Here's your money angle. A sweet potato costs less than $2. One potato will give you vines that can fill an entire corner of a room within 2 months. And when the vines get too long, you can cut them and stick the cuttings in new jars of water. They'll root within days. I started with 1 sweet potato. 6 months later, I had sweet potato vines in 5 different containers throughout my house. Total cost, $1.50. Number 4. Begonia. Most people grow begonias in soil and struggle with root rot because these plants are sensitive to overwatering. But in water, root rot isn't possible. Rex begonias especially have some of the most stunning foliage you'll find. Metallic silver leaves with dark green veins, deep burgundy leaves with pink spots, swirled patterns that look painted on. Take a leaf cutting with about 1 inch of stem attached. You can also use a stem cutting with several leaves. Stick it in a jar of water and place it somewhere with bright indirect light. Begonias take longer to root than most plants on this list. Give them 3 to 4 weeks. Don't give up on them. The roots will come. Once established, begonias in water need humidity around them. If your house is dry, especially in winter, the leaf edges will turn brown and crispy. Fix this by grouping several water-grown plants together. The water evaporating from all the containers creates a humid microclimate. Or set the jar on a tray filled with pebbles and water. As the water evaporates, it adds moisture to the air right around the plant. Change the water every week to 10 days. Begonias prefer their water on the warmer side. Use room temperature water, never cold straight from the tap. In winter, I let the water warm up to room temperature for a few hours before changing it out. The money-saving trick with begonias is propagation. These plants are expensive in nurseries. A 4-inch pot of Rex begonia can cost $20 or more. But 1 leaf cutting from a friend's plant will grow into a full plant within 3 months. And once you have 1 begonia, you can take more cuttings indefinitely. I have 4 different Rex begonia varieties, all grown from single-leaf cuttings I got from other plant people. I've spent $0 on begonias. Number 5. Basil. Basil grown in water lives for months instead of weeks, and you can harvest leaves continuously without killing the plant. Any variety works. Sweet basil, Thai basil, purple basil, lemon basil. They all root easily and grow vigorously in water. Buy fresh basil from the grocery store. Those bunches in the produce section work perfectly. Cut the stems about 4 inches long and remove the bottom leaves. Place the stems in a jar of water on your kitchen counter or windowsill. Within 3 days, you'll see tiny white roots forming. Within a week, the roots will be thick enough to support new growth. The plant will start producing new leaves at the top, while the roots keep expanding at the bottom. Basil needs lots of light. Put it in your sunniest window. 6 hours of direct sun is ideal. Without enough light, basil gets leggy and the leaves lose their strong flavor. Change the water every 5 days. Basil grows fast, and the water gets cloudy quickly from all the growth. Fresh water keeps the plant healthy and the leaves tasting good. Harvest leaves regularly. Don't be shy about it. The more you harvest, the bushier the plant grows. Pinch off the top sets of leaves every week. This forces the plant to branch out instead of just growing tall and sparse. The money trick here is obvious. A bunch of fresh basil at the grocery store costs $3 to $4 and lasts maybe a week in your fridge before it wilts. But those same stems and water will produce fresh basil for 6 months or longer. I've been harvesting from the same basil plants for 8 months. They started as a $4 bunch from the produce section. I've harvested enough basil to fill dozens of recipes. One purchase. Endless basil. Number 6. Mint. Mint is aggressive in gardens. It spreads everywhere and takes over. But in water, that aggressive growth is contained and actually beneficial. You'll have fresh mint available anytime you want it. Take a cutting from any mint plant. Spearmint, peppermint, chocolate mint, pineapple mint. All varieties root easily. Cut a stem about 6 inches long and remove the bottom leaves. Stick it in water. Roots show up within a week. Thick, white, healthy roots that spread through the water quickly. The plant will start putting out new stems and leaves almost immediately. Mint needs moderate to bright light. It'll grow in lower light than basil, but it does best near a window. I keep mine on my kitchen counter where it gets morning sun through the window above the sink. Change the water weekly. Mint grows fast and uses nutrients quickly. Add diluted fertilizer every 2 weeks if you're harvesting heavily. Harvest freely. Cut stems whenever you need fresh mint for tea, cocktails, salads, or cooking. The plant will grow back fuller than before. I harvest from my mint plants several times a week, and they just keep producing more. Money angle. Mint plants cost about $6 at nurseries, but you can often find mint growing wild in parks or get a cutting from someone's garden. One cutting becomes a full plant in 3 weeks. That plant will give you fresh mint indefinitely. I haven't bought mint in 2 years because my water-grown plants produce more than I can use. Number 7. Oregano. Oregano is a Mediterranean herb that thrives in water despite coming from dry climates. The flavor is actually stronger in water-grown oregano than in soil-grown plants. I don't know why, but I've compared them side by side, and the difference is noticeable. Take a cutting from an oregano plant. Greek oregano, Italian oregano, or common oregano all work. Cut a stem about 5 inches long and strip off the bottom leaves. Place it in water in a sunny spot. Oregano is slower to root than basil or mint. Give it 2 weeks before you see substantial roots. But once it roots, it's incredibly low maintenance. The plant grows steadily without much attention. Oregano needs lots of sun. Put it in your brightest window. This is a full sun plant that can handle direct sunlight all day. Without enough light, the stems get weak and the flavor becomes bland. Change the water every 10 days. Oregano is a slower grower than basil, so it doesn't dirty the water as quickly. Room temperature water works fine. Harvest the tips regularly to keep the plant bushy. Oregano will get woody and sparse if you don't trim it. Pinch off the growing tips every few weeks. Use the fresh leaves in cooking. They're much more flavorful than dried oregano from the store. The money-saving angle. Fresh oregano is hard to find in grocery stores, and when you do find it, it's expensive and comes in tiny packages. A water-grown oregano plant gives you unlimited fresh oregano for pasta sauce, pizza, Greek dishes, marinades. One cutting from a friend's garden, or a $6 plant from the nursery, will supply you with oregano for years. If this helped you, subscribe to my channel for more practical plant growing tips every week. Drop a comment and tell me which plant you're trying first. Are you going with the fast-growing sweet potato vine, or starting with herbs you can use in cooking? Let me know what you're working with. And tell me what topics you want next. Whatever you need help with, leave it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.